Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Fletcher for you, one of the best Tier 7 destroyers. Mick Mordoff, that's the skin for the Halloween Commander Mordoff. Similar to Halsey, a couple modifications here and there. Just go all in on the guns. Make sure you got Twist and Track on your build, or at least the slot 3 perk, one of the two that says shows the location of the nearest ship. We're going to see that in action in this game. You're the sheriff in these American destroyers. You go out there, you kill the enemy destroyers, you capture the bases. That's your job, okay? If you happen to get some torpedo damage while you're at it, beautiful. But that's not your job. Torpedo damage is bonus. Alright, so Epicenter here on the new map. And nope, we're actually in the cap right away. So in Epicenter, basically it's like domination mode, except for all three caps are basically stacked right in the middle of the board here. So we want to be looking for opportunities to get the middle right off the bat. You don't necessarily want to be too aggressive and get yourself killed doing that, but we're going to watch the teams deploy here, see what's spotted. There is a carrier on each side as well, so we'll get some spotted from that. And if it looks like we can get that middle one or two circles, then great. We're going to want to do that. That's how we're going to protect our lead and give ourselves more options on how we want to try and win the game late in the game. Composition wise, if you saw the map or the ship roster when we pulled it up, they have a Baltimore radar cruiser on their team. We got a lot of destroyers, and this is kind of a hybrid domination mode, again, Epicenter game. So very important to kill the enemy destroyers. Baltimore, the best ship on the enemy team to accomplish that, either directly or in conjunction with the teammates. That means everyone on our team should be shooting the Baltimore basically the entire time it's spotted. You can keep an eye on the health of the Baltimore as the game goes on. A lot of people don't understand the value of it. Of course, a lot of players just shoot battleships. That's all they think they can hit. Those are the least important targets for you to shoot at in the game, of course. So try and practice shooting these cruisers. Weimar, another nasty, nasty ship, both in terms of how badly it threatens the destroyers, and it'll just shred your whole team as well. So both of these cruisers, high priority. Here we're zooming in, gauging how far this guy is, because what I'm trying to judge here, I'm looking at the map, I'm saying my support ships are closer to me than his support ships, this Benson in the cloud. So I'm thinking about rushing him, trying to proxy spot him, or at least pushing in there, okay? Because these ships in the back, on the red team, they're not really that close, they're not massively threatening. We do have a smoke. The Baltimore, I don't believe, is in the radar range currently, and look at these ships pushing in aggressively. So trying to pick the blind fire here through the smoke. We're going to go ahead and pop this just because we got the plane spotting and the Benson here. Get some resets on him and more damage. And this is what we want to do here. If we don't kill him, that's not the end of the world, but we want to severely wound him at least. Okay, so we kind of backed him up, and I'm thinking, okay, my team's probably going to get him. He had already launched his torps previously, so these guys should be relatively safe, at least from the Benson. And then now we got fire on the Iowa. Another set of torps coming over here, set of 3. We're going to keep an eye on that. They did lose one destroyer. That it was the Benson in the middle there. The guys pushing through managed to get him. But then look at the twist and track, the radio locator pointing to the southwest of the screen, or the lower left corner, I should say, which coincidentally is the southwest of the map. So we're keeping an eye on that. I'm trying to utilize these smokes here while we got them, and keeping an eye on for these destroyers to pop in the map. But if we can get some fires on these guys, which is what I'm trying to do, we got a fire on the Iowa, which looks like it might be burning still due to the damage ticking. But even if they put these fires out right away, then their damage control is on cooldown, and if someone else hits them with HE and sets them on fire, or even a torpedo, then that damage is going to stick. So if they don't damage control our fires, then we'll get the damage. If they do, then they're potentially setting themselves up for something even worse. So I'm trying to capture bases here. We do want to be getting these if possible. That will basically increase the score in the background of the game while we're doing stuff. Baltimore, we're getting basically within this radar range here. We're going to keep pinging him. He's still about 85% of his health. Brandenburg rushed him trying to torp. That's probably not going to work. Everybody on the team needs to be shooting him at this point in time, but we are pushing this suggested position of the nearest ship over here, noting also that we have another destroyer here on our team. I think it's a Gajimata. Now, a lot of times when we have a destroyer pop up and it's relatively close range, I'll immediately start shooting here. But I'm noting the Baltimore is about 9 kilometers to the north of me, and I want to hold the fire just a little bit. Unfortunately, this dude's going to get, he's going to get smoked by the Summers Torps, I believe. Or, well, he may or may not die, but I held off shooting there until we basically were about to go around this island, is basically the point I'm trying to make here. Looks like the destroyer did manage to survive, at least for now. But you can see here immediately the Baltimore engages us. He still has received no more damage since the last time we looked at him a couple minutes ago. And, you know, had we shot the minute we had a shot at that guy, we probably would have taken 1 or 2 hits from that Baltimore. So you gotta, I mean, your instinct should be to shoot those destroyers when possible, and especially in these American destroyers, which were kind of designed to counter the destroyers. But in situations like that, you know, if you can just hold your fire for just a little while, get safe, that'll prolong the plays that you can make in the game. Now I'm looking at this thing here, the map, and you might be saying to yourself, okay, well, they're up a ship, they're up big in the score, looks like this is going really well. This is looking very, very dangerous to me, because once again, the Baltimore is not taking any damage, and he's smacking the crap out of our last battleship, which is really the last ship on the board that threatens that guy. We are once again going to be responding to this twist and track, suggesting that there's something down here. We want to get this destroyer off the board, but very, very worried at this point in time. In fact, I'm thinking this is probably another horrible loss in a game where it doesn't look like we really should be losing. But these guys, you gotta kill these radar cruisers. If you don't know what they are, take the time to learn. Okay, if you're going to be playing high tiers, you need to know what the radar cruisers are, and you need to take them out. Okay, so at this point, you know, because once this Bismarck's dead, that's really the big threat to him. And then they'll still have battleships. They can kill that cruiser. Now we're stuck with dealing with a Baltimore. Baltimore can just sail into the middle of the map there, capture all the bases, and just keep all these destroyers away from them. Okay, the destroyer is trying to push into the Baltimore. Low chance of surviving that encounter. Plane spotted the Akatsuki basically at the same time we did. He slams on the brakes, pops the smoke. We're going to throw some torps in there as we're trying to shoot as well. You want to keep shooting as long as you're able to know roughly where he is, but the torpedoes just kind of a backup chance to take him out. So we're assuming he's probably going to sail further south, disengage. We want to resolve this as quick as possible. Looks like the plane on our team still is flying around here, so he's probably still in the smoke. Okay, but we're already still looking at the next play on the board here. Baltimore will continue to ping it until it's dead. I mean, it should have been dead a long time ago. It's been spotted the entire game. But he gone! There goes the Akatsuki with the torpedo strike. Did take care of the last destroyer. Now we have 2 destroyers left. I got about 2/3 of my HP, and then there's one more running amok. So, you know, the situation improving mildly, but not for long, because the Iowa does take out the Bismarck. Now we're tied in ships. Red team pressing the bases. I can hold off an Iowa. I can hold off a Bismarck, right? I got a smoke. If someone's going to spot, which we do have a carrier, so he can spot. I can plop. I can sit on these inside of these circles here, plop myself down, drop the anchor, drop the smoke, shoot, and launch the torps. And the battleship players are so terrified of destroyers, they're usually going to turn the tail and run, right? So that's how we're going to defend these bases. But the Baltimore complicates things, okay? So that's why we've been so hopeful to get rid of him. But you saw a moment ago, they finally did get the Baltimore off the board, and it took a serious set of torps coming in through the water there. And basically those ships all died executing that play, but it is dead. And now this game is supremely winnable, right? And again, we're going to basically just threaten this Bismarck. Now the Bismarck has a really, really strong sonar. We got to be cognizant of that. If he gets anywhere near close to us, or if it looks like he's coming towards us, we're going to have to run. Okay, we do have a nice built-in lead because we had 2 of the caps basically uncontested for about half the game, a third to half the game. So we got a nice built-in lead here. We cannot die though, so as soon as we're getting spotted by the plane, we drop the smoke. Bismarck shot his gun. That will give him a smoke fire penalty for a little bit here. And now we're going to just bomb on him here. try and set them on fire with this HE. Hope these torps, looks like he's probably going to sail through those, so those aren't going to be part of the game plan here. But if we can get the fire going, since he's broadside, we can consider switching over to AP, and that's, I think, what we're going to actually do here any second. Because basically the theory is if you can get background burning damage going, you know, it's kind of passive damage that you're accruing, and then if they're broadside like this and we're able to pick the superstructure, then we could potentially get more damage. If we're not hitting the superstructure, we're probably usually going to get less damage, but it's worth experimenting with. Test this AP out in these situations, and you'll see when we get good, well-aimed hits, it'll be a little bit more damage. When the shots aren't quite as good, then it's a little bit less damage than we're getting with those HE salvos. But with the double fire there, the continued value of firing more high explosive rounds at them goes down because there's less parts of the ship that can potentially be set on fire. Battleships, at the minimum, like, can have 3 sections of the ship, the 4 aft in the middle, or usually, if they don't have the commander perks that limit the fires to 3, then they can have 4, 2 in the middle, and then 1 in the front and the back. So, as the ship gets more on fire, you know, as more fires are set throughout the ship, the chances of an individual shell causing an additional fire goes down because, you know, it's harder to pick those smaller spots that still aren't on fire. And if we have broadside shots like that, the AP, once again, worth considering. Trying to slam on the brakes here, see if we can get this torp off here, but we note the Iowa's pulling back here, and usually I would think he's going to be trying to come hard around this island. So basically we torp right at the edge of that island. He does need to kind of continue to push in here because they do need to freeze the score, but they definitely need to kill me. If they can kill me, then killing the carrier is not a problem. If I can kill the Iowa, then killing their carrier is probably not going to be a problem. So this is kind of down to the Iowa and myself kind of playing jump ball to win the game. Do get spotted by the plane there. Iowa does send some shots into us. Luckily it didn't do anything too crazy, but we're desperately trying to pull to the right of the screen here. We need this island kind of on the right hand side in between us and the Iowa, right? Once we do that, then we're technically safe. Looks like the torp salvo just missed. He did a good job kind of turning and basically did what we were describing a minute ago, just holding on to the edge of the island. The planes on our team have a nice drop there, lowers his health down quite a bit. Looks like he's got permanent fires. We're trying to get one more salvo, and you can see we pull through just in the nick of time to block those shots there. And the Iowa's on the ropes, and he's going to go down any minute here for the 4th kill. There he goes there. So not over yet. The planes are trying to attack us, slamming the brakes, and dodge those torpedoes there. And now it's on here. 2 minutes 45 seconds. Can we get the carrier on the red team? Now he was last seen kind of moving into these circles, which isn't a bad play for him to make. Carriers, you do need to be cognizant of opportunities you can have to capture bases in domination mode in Epicenter. But by getting into that, it looks like it's the 2nd tier. He's actually freezing some of the scoring that was going on in the background. So not a bad play there, but because he's so far forward here, once we get him spotted, well, it's on here like something. I have no analogy, but we're going to definitely try and kill him is the moral of the story. So HE, we got his damage con there. He goes mostly broadside. AP, here it comes. See if we can get some nice shots. We do get one citadel. Try and get the torps down just as a backup plan. He does need to kill us, but with less than 2 minutes left at this point in time, even if he does, it's going to take a lot of work to finish off this blue team. So we got the red team right where we want them. We got, looks like we're closing in on the high caliber along with the dev strike. Pretty high damage game, but we'll end up with the 5 kills and then the caps as well. But basically, like usually most of my videos that feature American destroyers, at least the gun-focused ones, purely gun-focused ones like Fletcher, Benson, basically all the tech tree ones, and the Kid and some of those ones, we're going destroyer to destroyer to destroyer and cap to cap to cap. Okay, that's all we really doing. We're focusing on that like a laser, and if we do our job well and we get some support, and we had pretty good support from the team in this one, then it's very, very hard for the red to win. But keep in mind, you'll see the score at the end here, and we nearly doubled the 2nd closest on our team, and we're still in a tight match there. So we really have to carry the team on our back once in a while. Anyway, that's a look at the Fletcher for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, new to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you. And I'll see you later. Peace.